The National Cemetery Administration provides burial benefits for veterans and their loved ones at more than 130 VA national cemeteries across the country. As Abraham Lincoln said, "We care for those honored dead who gave their last full measure of devotion." We are proud to fulfill our nation's debt of gratitude to veterans and their loved ones. VA's commitment to each eligible veteran includes a committal service with military honors if requested, a gravesite or columbarium niche at a VA national cemetery, a headstone or marker, and perpetual care of the gravesite at no expense to the family. Veterans may also be eligible for a Presidential Memorial Certificate. Each certificate is embossed with a gold presidential seal and bears the official signature of the President of the United States. In preparation for the committal service at the cemetery, you or your funeral home should contact the National Cemetery Scheduling Office, where an agent will confirm burial eligibility and coordinate all the arrangements for the interment of your loved one. Your national cemetery will advise the funeral home or the family where to check in upon arrival. This may be the cemetery's administrative office or a staging area where the vehicles in a funeral party can line up while waiting for others to gather. The family will typically arrive with the cremation urn, or the funeral home will bring the urn and meet the family there. A cemetery representative will meet your party and escort you to the committal shelter, a private, covered, open-air pavilion away from the distractions of other cemetery operations. Services at VA national cemeteries are held in committal shelters rather than at the gravesite. Committal services are carefully scheduled to ensure that each family receives the same opportunity to say farewell to their loved one in a solemn and dignified place. The committal service is where the veteran receives military funeral honors. This is a demonstration of our nation's gratitude to those who have faithfully defended her in times of war and peace. The honors detail will consist of no fewer than 2 uniformed members of the military services, at least one of who shall be from the parent service of the deceased veteran. At a minimum, the military funeral honors ceremony consists of the sounding of taps, played by a bugler or an electronic recording if no bugler is available, and the folding and presentation of the American flag. Many cemeteries are able to offer volunteers from veteran service organizations to assist with military funeral honors. Your funeral director can tell you more about the resources available in your community. Remember, the family or funeral home must request military funeral honors. The committal service is your opportunity to hold a brief ceremony of your choosing. This is a perfect time to read a poem, sing a hymn, or say a prayer. The committal service at the cemetery usually follows a longer, sometimes more elaborate funeral service at a church, synagogue, mosque, funeral home, or other facility. The family or the funeral home must make the arrangements to use clergy of their choice in a committal service. Your funeral director can provide you with information about available resources. Some VA national cemeteries conduct as many as 20 or more committal services per day. We ask that you keep your use of the committal shelter brief to enable us to serve you and other veterans and their families. This includes the time needed for military funeral honors. At the conclusion of the committal service, your loved one's remains will be transferred to the columbarium or in-ground cremation site for interment. You are welcome to visit the columbarium or the gravesite at the end of the workday. This allows the cemetery staff to inter the remains and remove all equipment in preparation for your visit. When you and your family visit the niche or gravesite, you will see a temporary grave marker, along with some of the flowers that accompanied the urn. At in-ground sites, grass seed or sod will be placed on the grave as soon as possible, unless the cemetery uses a water-wise or natural type of landscaping. Veterans and spouses are buried together in the same gravesite unless both are veterans. Then they may choose adjacent gravesites. All veterans and family members buried in a national cemetery receive the standard grave marker already in use in the section where they are buried. This may be an upright headstone, a flat marker, or a niche. These all bear an inscription that displays the veteran's name, highest rank attained, branch of service, and their dates of birth and death. Depending on space available, the inscription can also include the veteran's war service period, decorations for valor, and terms of endearment. In addition, you may request an emblem of belief displayed at the top of the headstone or marker. You can expect the permanent headstone, marker, or niche cover to be in place within 60 days of the date of interment. After the interment, the columbarium or gravesite will be cared for all eternity. We are dedicated to ensuring that your loved one will rest in a place of dignity and respect, a national shrine worthy of their service to our nation. For more information about veterans' burial benefits provided by the National Cemetery Administration, please visit us online at www.cem.va.gov or call VA at 1-800-827-1000 or the VA National Cemetery nearest you. And thank you for your service.